जले।
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मनु मुकुरु सुधारी। बरनउ रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर। जय कपी सति लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा। अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी। कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा। कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराजे। कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन। तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर। राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया। राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा। विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे। रामचंद्र के काज संवारे। लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए। श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई। तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे। अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा। नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिक्पाल जहाते। कवि कोविद कहि सकै कहाते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीवहि कीन्हा। राम मिलाय राजपद दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना। लंकेश्वर है सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्र जो जन पर भानु। लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानू। प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि। जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते। सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे। होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना। तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज संहारो आपे। तीनों लोक हांकते कांपे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे। महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा। जपत निरंतर हनुमत वीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे। मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा। तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे। सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है। प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु संत के तुम रखवारे। असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता। असवर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा। सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावे। जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबर पुर जाई। जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्तन धरई। हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई। संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा। जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई। कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई। छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा। होय सिद्धि साखी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा। कीजय नाथ हृदय महडेरा। पवन तनय संकट हरन। मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित। हृदय बसहु सुर भूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय।
श्री गुरु
गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरन रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र औ ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
संस्थापकं वीरं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्।
Jai Shri Krishna, everyone. A very, very, very warm welcome to all of you on this auspicious occasion of Ganga Dashara. With the blessings of Param Pujya Gurudev Swami Govind Dev Giriji Maharaj, we have been able to put our foot forward on this divine journey of read Geeta, teach Geeta, and live Geeta. To begin this session, I'm going to invite our respected Manjusha Didi, who is from Maharashtra, who joined Geeta Pariwar in April of 2023, and she loves learning Bhagavad Gita and humming and singing old songs. She is now serving Geeta Pariwar with her divine seva of being a tech support and a GC. Didi, please start the session with opening prayer.
वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं श्रीकृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं जय श्री कृष्ण.
Jai Shri Krishna, Didi. Thank you so very much, Didi, for this auspicious beginning. But then, another of our tradition is of Deep Prajalan. This little guiding light of mine, I am going to let it shine. Let it shine all the time. Let it shine. I now invite forward our Soumya Didi, who is a homemaker from Bangalore, joined Geeta Pariwar in February of 2023 and currently serving Geeta Pariwar as a trainer for L1, L2 and L3. Didi, please come forward and light the deep.
निषिद्धैरप्येभिर्लुलितमकरन्दो मधुकरैः करैरिन्दोरन्तश्छुरित इव सम्भिन्नमुकुलः विधत्तां सिद्धिन्नो नयनसुभगामस्य सदसः प्रकीर्णः पुष्पाणां हरिचरणयोरञ्जलिरयम् शरदिन्दुनिभां शुभ्रवस्त्रैरलङ्कृताम् कलहंसकृतावासां वरदां शारदां नुमः वरदां शारदां नुमः.
Thank you, Didi. What a divine darshan of Kanha himself and such a beautiful Deep Prajalan. In this well-lit ambience, we are all ready for the interpretation session. But before that, a gentle reminder to our respected sadhaks that the registration for the L1 batch of July has already begun. So please add as many people as you can to this Geeta Parivar so that this Amrit of Geeta Ji can be passed on to all our loved, near and dear ones. And now I am going to take this opportunity to bring forward our very, very respected Vikas Vaidya Bhaiya, who is a BE and PG DMA. He has been an NRI for more than 12 years, but he has carried India all throughout in his heart when he traveled the world. Now he owns an IT company based out of Pune. Bhaiya is a polyglot and can speak more than 5 languages. He recites all the 18 adhyayas of Geeta Ji every day for last 6 years and more. He is a trainer for all levels and is involved in trainer selection and training of the trainers in all levels of Geeta Parivar. He also teaches Vishnu Sahasnam and is a very, very active vivechak for our Geeta Parivar. Welcome, Bhaiya. Let's do the interpretation of 14th chapter for our sadhaks.
Jai Shri Krishna. Vasudevasudan devam कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं पूज्य स्वामी जी के चरण कमलों में कोटि कोटि नमन. We are discussing 14th अध्याय गुणत्रय विभाग योग. In last session we covered up to श्लोक number 12. So let us start with श्लोक number 13. We are discussing the 3 attributes of Prakriti, Sattva, Rajatamo, in all aspects. So let us continue the discussion. Slok number 13. Aprakasho pravrittischa pramado mohe vacha tamasyetani jayante vivruddhe kurunandana. Aprakash. Prakash is light. Aprakash is darkness. Opposite of that. Pravritti. Pravritti is to get insert into some activity. Apravritti, inactivity. Pramad. We have seen this. What you should do, you don't do. What you should not do, you do. That is madness. Pramad. Moha. Moha is moha, illusion. Iva, certainly tamasi. Tamasi is the mode of ignorance, mode of darkness. Etani, these. Jayante. Jayante is to get manifested, to get developed. Vivruddhe is to increase. Kuru Nandana is son of Kuru, that means Arjuna. So Paramatma says, Arjuna, when Tamoguna increases, then darkness, ignorance, inertness, dullness, sleepiness, idleness, pramad, and delusion, they arise in senses as well as in the antakaran of the person when the tamoguna increases. So when an augmented tamoguna predominates our behavior, the antakaran is filled with darkness. And because of this darkness in the antakaran, one shies away from one's responsibilities. And he shirks his own duties. He doesn't want to do anything. The person becomes dull, lazy, and lethargic. With increased sleepiness, he becomes idle. He follows the principle, what they say, आज करे सो कल कर, कल करे सो परसों, इतनी भी क्या जल्द है, अभी तो जीना है बरसों. So he doesn't want to do anything at the right time. He believes in idling, laziness, sleepiness. So this is when the tamoguna gets augmented, when tamoguna increases. Now what happens when sattva-guna increases? Or when sattva-guna is predominant, what happens? Slok number 14. Yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralaya yati dehabhrat tadottama vedan lokan amalan pratipadyate. Yada sattve. Yada means when. Sattve is the sattva-gun, mode of goodness. Pravruddhe, increase, develop. Pralayam is dissolution. Yati is to go. Dehabhrat, people like us, embodied people. Tada, at that time. Yada and tada at that time. Uttam vidam, of the great seers, sages. Lokan, the lokas. Lokas is Swarga Lokas. Amalan is pure. Pratipadyate is to attain. So Paramatma says, when this sattva-guna is predominant, now the discussion has shifted from our day-to-day behavior to our end of life. At the end of life, if the Jivatma passes through the death, when the Jivatma passes through the death, that means he leaves the body. At that time, when sattva-guna is predominant, when the Jivatma is leaving the body, at that moment, at the last moment when we are taking our last breath in this life, on this earth, if at that moment sattva-guna is predominant, then the human being, he attains the highest, the uncontaminated, pure loka. That means the Swarga Loka. So when an embodied being is predominant, sattva-guna meets with death, he is in the dominance of sattva-guna and he meets the death. That human being, he attains pure, highest loka. The astral plane, that means the Swarga Loka. When a sattvic human being transitions through death, he attains sattvic loka, often referred to as whatever Ishtadeva we have, Krishna Loka, Shri Ram Loka, Vishnu Loka, Shiva Loka, Ganesha Loka, whatever is your Ishtadevata, that loka he attains. So these lokas, what are these lokas? Are they really existing somewhere up in the sky? Krishna Loka and Vishnu Loka and Shiva Loka. These lokas are nothing but the creation of our own one-pointed mind under the influence of sattva-guna. When we are doing something good, we console ourselves, we say to ourselves that after doing all this good, I'm going to go to heaven, I'm going to go to Vishnu Loka, to Shiva Loka and all that. So these are the creations of our own mind when we are under the influence of sattva-guna. After death of the body and before the rebirth, In that intervening period, interval, the Jivatma resides in such mind-created loka. The Jivatma is residing in this self-created loka. You call it Vishnu loka or Krishna loka or Shiva loka or Ganesh loka, whatever. But these are all mind-created lokas. And just when we are dreaming, we think that our dream is real. When we are dreaming, we think we are watching something real. We are passing through that particular incident in real life. That is what we think when we are dreaming. So when just as your dream appears real to you while dreaming, similarly, that Swargaloka appears real to that Jivatma when he is waiting for the new body. So it is like a dream. It is like a dream, nothing more than that. These lokas. If you have done sattvic karma, your Jivatma is in that mode of Swargaloka. Swargaloka means not, there is no physical Swargaloka that you will be given a 4-bedroom hall kitchen bungalow and you stay there comfortably. That is not Swargaloka. That is the creation of mind. Now, when the person dies under the influence of Rajoguna, when he dies, if he is under the influence of Rajoguna, what happens? Tradasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tatha pralinas tamasi mudhayo nishu jayate. Tradasi pralayam gatva. Rajasi is the mode of passion, in passion. Pralayam, dissolution. Gatva is to attain. Karma sangishu, in association with those who are doing sakam karma. Sangha of those people who are doing sakam karma, that means the karma which they are doing, they are with the expectation of some return or reward. So that is karma sangishu. Jayate is to take birth. Tatha, similarly, pralina, being dissolved, tamasi is tamas, mode of ignorance, mudha yonishu. Mudha yonishu is the lower species, lower yoni, than the human yoni. Jayate is to take birth. So when Rajasi and Tamasi are predominant, and if the Jivatma leaves the body when we are under the influence of Rajasi and Tamasi guna, what happens? Transitioning through death with predominant Rajoguna, such a human being is born amongst those attached to the Sakam Karma. That means in the same human life, on the Shoka. And then meeting with death, when the predominant Tamoguna is there, one is born in the lower species, not human beings. Lower species, such as some insect or some animal kingdom. So this is what happens when we are in the mode of Rajoguna or Tamoguna. When we die, when we are taking our last breath in the life, when it is Satvaguna, we attain the upper lokas, Swargaloka. When we are under the influence of Rajoguna, we take birth again in the same Manushya Loka, where we keep doing again Sakam Karma. But when we are under the influence of Tamoguna, mode of ignorance, mode of darkness, then one is born in the lower species. It doesn't get the human birth, insect or animal kingdom. Now the question is, do we know when we will die? Do we know when we will die? If we know, then we can change the gear. Isn't it? If we are in the mode, if we are in mode of, say, Rajasi or Tamoguna, we'll say, no, I'm going to die. So let me shift the gear to Sattvaguna. Then I will attain the heaven. So is it so easy to change the gear from Tamoguna to Sattvaguna right at the moment of death? Is it possible? That is simply not possible. Therefore, we should always be ever vigilant, be always watchful. We don't know when the death will strike us. We should be watchful of our mind. What is going on in our mind? Are we thinking Sattvic? Are we thinking Rajasi? Are we thinking Tamasi? Because if we die with a predominance of Rajoguna, we will be reborn in a Rajoguna predominant environment. And when we die in Tamoguna, we will go to the lower species. Can we shift the gear at the last moment of life? It's impossible, as I said. A small story, which I keep telling many times, many of you might have heard also. There was a investor, Marwadi investor, he was an expert in share market. And he used to do day trading. He had a very good study of the share market. He had spotted some good, wonderful shares which will show some movement in day-to-day trading. When it goes low, he will buy it. And when it goes up by 5, 6, 2, 3 rupees, he will sell it. He will buy huge quantities, 10,000 shares or so. When it goes down, he will buy. When it goes up by a couple of rupees, 3 rupees, he will sell. In the process, he will earn huge amount of money every day. So he was an expert in share market. Now that person, he came to the end of his life. The last moment came of his life. He was surrounded by his 4 sons in the hospital. The fellow was in almost half coma, unconscious. The doctor said, his condition is not so good. Let me check his vitals. That means his BP and sugar and all that. And doctor started checking his blood pressure. And then he said 180, 185. He was checking the blood pressure. That gentleman who was in deep coma, he suddenly woke up. And he said, if it crosses 200, sell it off. So he was under the impression that some discussion is going on around here about some stock, about some share. Because his whole life he had spent thinking about shares only. So how can he think of something else at the last moment of his life? Is it possible? It's not possible. So that's why Paramatma says, always be vigilant, always be watchful of our own mind, what we are thinking. Because if we die under the predominance of Rajoguna, then we will be born in the Rajoguna predominant environment. And there are many who die in the sleep. When they're sleeping, the death comes. So, or in the state of unconsciousness, like coma or unconsciousness. So in such instances, it is the state of their mind just prior to the occurrence of that unconsciousness that decides the course of getting the next birth. Before going into the coma or before going into the unconsciousness, what state of mind he had. Depending on that state of mind, his next birth is decided. And those who die with a predominance of Tamoguna are born in the lower species like insects or animal. So always be watchful of our own mind, what is going on in our mind. So when the Lord talks about being born in low species, this also includes beings, human beings, to foolish parents. He may be born as a human being, but he will be born in a family which is full of foolish people, who are all ignorant, living their lives in inertia, lethargy, apathy. So he may take birth in that family. So no one gives you a particular life course, but rather you get what you wanted. If you wanted Sattvic, always remain in Sattvic mode. If you want Rajasi, then remain in Rajasi. If you want to go to lower species, okay, choice is yours. So what you get is what you desired. So this is the meaning of this shloka. Now we go to next shloka, 16th. Karmana sukrutisyahu sattvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. Now, what is the result of fruits of sattva, rajo and tamo? Karmana. Karmana is the karma of action. Sukrutasya. Sukruti is punya. Ahu is said. Sattvikam, in the mode of goodness, we know it very well now. Nirmalam. Nirmal is purified. Phalam. Phalam is the result, return reward. Rajasa, mode of passion, we know. Phalam. Phalam is the result, karma phala. Dukkham, misery. Ajnanam is ajnan, nonsense. Tamasa, mode of ignorance or mode of darkness. Phalam is the result. So Paramatma says, Karmana sukrutasyahu sattvikam nirmalam phalam rajasastu phalam dukkham ajnanam tamasa phalam. It is said that fruits, result, return, the reward of sattvic karma, sattvic. Okay, understood. And sattvic return reward, it imparts you joy, it imparts you knowledge, it imparts you vairagya, dispassion. The fruits of Rajasi karma is pain and sorrow, while the fruits of Tamasi karma is ignorance and darkness. So karmana sukritisyaho satvikam nirmalam phalam, rasastu phalam dukkham, and ajnanam tamasa phalam. So whichever guna is predominant at the time of death, you will be reborn with the predominance of that very guna. Thus, how you lead your life will shape your mind. Shape your mind at the time of death, I mean. And you will be reborn in that very state of mind. So that's why we cannot change suddenly our mind at the last moment of our life. We have to condition our mind throughout the life. And then only we can probably remember all these things what we are reading now at the last moment of our life. And our bhav at that time may remain sattvic. So the result of sattvic guna is joy, knowledge and vairagya. Thus, how you lead your life will shape your mind at the time of death. And you will be reborn in that very state of mind. Remember that just listening to some discourse or some pravachan of some big guru for maybe 40 minutes or 1 hour, and then leading remaining 23 hours of our life in excess of tamoguna or rajoguna, this will not lead us to sattvic state of mind at the time of our death. If we say that I have attended Geeta pravachan, I have attended Geeta class for 40 minutes, 1 hour, remaining 23 hours, I am free to do whatever I want to do. Okay, you are free, of course. But don't expect that at the time of death, we will be sattvic in our mind. We may be Rajasi or Tamasi. Because out of 24 hours, we have spent hardly any time in sattvic karma. So don't be under any such wrong understanding that we will be under sattvic guna at the time of death if we do some little sattvic karma here and there. You have to endeavor to augment sattvic karma every moment, at all times. Your day and your night should commence with sattvic activity. And that should be the theme of the entire day. Moreover, when you wake up in the morning, the first thought that should come to our mind is Om. This day should start with Om. When we get up in the bed, the first word we should speak is Om. So the beginning of our karma has started with sattvic karma. Om. There is a schedule that Brahmins were told to follow as prescribed in Vedas. What are Brahmins' duties? This includes waking up just before the sunrise, dawn, and doing some spiritual practice, and then performing it again at the noon time, then in the evening, and yet again in the night. Furthermore, it is said that one ought to pray before every meal. There is a mantra, Vadani called Geeta Namagya Shri Hari say, when we take the meal. After every meal, we should remember Paramatma before commencing any activity, and after accomplishing that activity, we should say some mantra, and so on and so forth, to remain in sattvic bhava at all the time. Now, until and unless you don't take efforts to increase your sattva guna by doing sattvic actions throughout your entire life, you cannot ensure the predominance of sattva guna at the time of death. What this means is that the devotee, the seeker, really does not have any time to waste on some futile material world activities or affairs. His entire time goes in purifying his mind, imbibing the knowledge, and inculcating the vairagya, dispassion, and viveka buddhi. If we train our mind to live our day-to-day life in this fashion, then there is a good possibility that at the end of life, we will be in the sattvic mode. And the sattvic mode, we know, it attains heaven, it gives you knowledge, gives you vairagya, it gives you joy, happiness, everything. So all good. If you want all good, you have to be good throughout the life. Okay, let us continue with next law, sloka number 17. Paramatma says, Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramadamoho tamaso bhavato jnaname cha. Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha eva cha pramadamoho tamaso bhavato ajnaname cha. Sattvat from the mode of goodness, sanjayate. Sanjayate is to develop. Jnanam, knowledge. Rajaso from the mode of passion. Lobham, greed. Pramad, madness, with moh, illusion. Tamasa from the mode of ignorance. Bhavata is to develop. Ajnanam. Ajnanam is ajnan, nonsense. So Paramatma says, Sattvat sanjayate jnanam rajaso lobha evacha pramad moho tamaso bhavato jnanam evacha. Arjuna, from sattva arises jnana. From rajasa arises greed, lobha. And from tamasa arises pramad, delusion, ignorance. If you want jnana, then endure, try to make your antakaran sattvic. If you want jnana. For if yoga predominates, then it will enhance greed and longing for the material world, longing for the sensory gratification, sensory world. Else if the tamoguna predominates, you will be immersed in inertia, laziness, sleep, apathy, and we will while away our life in laziness and sleep only. And thus, dying in sleep, we will be reborn in lower species, lower than human beings. So don't indulge in excessive sleep. This is the message. Don't indulge in excessive sleep. Sleep ought to be balanced. See, it does not mean that you should not sleep at all. Rather, endure that your sleep remains not just nidra. Listen to this carefully. The sleep does not remain just as nidra, but it becomes yoga nidra. We discussed in last session what is yoga nidra. So just before you go to sleep, reflect upon the drawbacks of excessive sleeping. That excessive sleeping is not good. Acknowledge that the sleep increases tamoguna and assert to yourself that I don't want to increase my tamoguna. I will not sleep excessively. I will sleep only for the required number of hours. Yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapna bodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. There is a shloka in 6th adhyaya, Atma Sanyam Yoga. Everything should be in proportion. Yukta ahar, yukta vihar, yukta nidra. Everything should be yukta, in proportion. So, when we are sleeping, lie down and until the sleep arrives, engage yourself in mental recitation of some mantra. If we know Geeta, Kanthastha, keep chanting Geeta while sleeping, no problem. Geeta doesn't say that you should stand up, you should stay in front of Pujagar and then only read Geeta. You can read Geeta anytime. Or keep chanting some Namajap. Om Achyutaya Namah, Om Anantaya Namah, Om Keshava, whatever mantra your Guru might have given you. So if you do this sincerely, you will find that the sleep turns into yoga nidra and it does not last for too long. You will not sleep excessively. So the one who has a goal, an objective to be achieved in this lifetime, this current lifetime, he will not waste his time in sleep. The story of rabbit and tortoise we know. Since our childhood, we have been hearing this many times. The rabbit sprints for a while, then rests under the tree. And then he goes to the sleep, thinking that the tortoise is still far away, I can take a sleep, I can take a nap and sleep. Meanwhile, the slowly yet steadily moving tortoise, he wins the race. So most of us are like that. Most of us are like that rabbit. After attending some pravachan or meditation camp, we are full of enthusiasm. Oh, I have learned something great today. From tomorrow, I will start all this every day. So we are full of enthusiasm that time and start their practice, our practice with great sincerity and zeal, sleeping less, spending more time in performing spiritual practices. But soon this bubble of motivation bursts. And then we revert back to our old habits of laziness, sleep, slumber. Whereas the spiritual practice ought to be done like tortoise, slow and steady, step by step. So we should work at a steady pace, trying to reduce our Rajasi and Tamoguna. The more these two gunas reduce, the more Sattva guna will increase. We saw that in last session. It is a WWF match. If these two gunas get suppressed, then obviously Sattva guna will increase. So if you want to be Sattva guni, then we have to suppress our Rajasi and Tamasi vritti. Then the Sattva guna will increase. Okay, next loka. Further, Paramatma says, ऊर्ध्वं गच्छन्ति सत्त्वस्था मध्ये तिष्ठन्ति राजसाः जघन्यगुणवृत्तिस्था अधो गच्छन्ति तामसाः. Urdhva is up. Gachanti is to go. Sattva guni people go up. Up means in the heaven. Madhye tiष्ठन्ति rajasaha. Madhya is in between. Human world. Jaganyaguna adho gachanti tamasa. Adho is lower species. So those abiding in Sattva guna, they ascend upwards to the heaven, Urdhvang, and such higher lokas like the heavens. The Rajasi people, they dwell in the middle, that is in the world of human beings, and Tamasic people immerse in sleep, laziness, sloth, inertia, they descend downwards. Adho gachanti, in the range of insects, animals. The one with sattvic dominance, he ascends to the heaven. Now, what does heaven mean? We see in TV serials, they show that heaven means people are sitting on good singhasan, good chairs. They're enjoying some drink. We don't know what they are drinking, but they're enjoying some drink, and some beautiful girls are dancing. That is the picture of heaven, which may have been shown on TV or even in some books. But this is not heaven. This is not heaven. This is nothing but the graphic expression of an immortal person. An immoral person can only decide, I can think of this, that heaven means drinking something or watching some beautiful girls. Does the Geeta teach us this? Any of our cultures, they teach us this? So this could be the creation of some immoral mind, that heaven is like that. So the mind should be maybe that fellow who decided, who first said that heaven means drinking something and watching beautiful girls. His mind must be full of lust, greed, and he must be some excessive indulgence in body pleasure. So only such person can decide heaven like that. Heaven actually denotes happiness, joy. The one who attains heaven refers to a being immersed in joy and a mind that is steady, stable, still is the mind in peace and happiness and joy. So the Swarga is all in the mind. If our mind is stable, still, it is in peace, happiness and joy, the heaven is right here. The Rajoguni person, on the other hand, he will be born in the human species. Madhya gachanti. Madhya tiष्ठन्ति rajasaha. Tiष्ठन्ति, same. So now, how much effort does a human has to make for his continued survival? It is very difficult to survive as a human being. And this starts right from the time of birth. Unlike the animal kingdom, it takes a good year or more than that for a human baby to stand on its own feet. The human child is the most helpless amongst all living beings. A lion's cub, it starts catching the shikar within no time, immediately after its birth. Contrast this with human beings, the human children, who many times is yet to acquire decent life skills even when he goes to his 20s, or some people even in 30s. We see many people adulting. They don't know what to do in life. They don't know how to earn their own bread and butter. Their family or somebody, parents are taking care of them. Unlike animals and birds, human beings is dependent on his parents for a long time. So being born as a human means a lot of activity, a great deal of efforts, and all this starts right from the childhood, infancy. So a child, he used to first learn sitting down, then stand up, then walk, and then run. So much of efforts he has to take for learning everything. So when one who dies with the activity-prone Rajoguna dominance, Chitta, he is sent back to the human life to carry on with the activities, to carry on trying these skills of living human life again and again. And that he has to start from scratch in every life. Is it that in this life we have learned how to sit, how to walk, and how to run? In the next life, when we are born as human beings, right from birth, we'll start running? No, again we have to learn all that. Okay, we go to next shloka now. Further, shloka number 19. Na anyek gunebhya kartare yada drashtan pashyati gunebhyascha param vetti madbhavam sodhigacchati. Further, Paramatma says, na anyek gunebhya kartare yada drashtan pashyati. Anyam means other, gunebhya means then the qualities, attributes. Kartaram is the karta, the performer, the doer. Yada is when. Drashtva is the jnani person who is known. Anupashyati, one who sees, understands things properly, is anupashyati. Gunebhya, the mode of nature, satpajatamo, these gunas. Param is transcendental. Vetti is to know. Matabhavam, Paramatma says, that means my spiritual nature. Adhigacchati is to get promoted, to get elevated. So, Nanyek Gunebhya Kartarai Yada Drashtanu Pashyati Gunebhyascha Param Vetti Madbhavam Sodhigacchati. Paramatma says, when the seer sees none other than the three gunas as the doer. Nanyek Gunebhya Kartaram. The doer is nobody else. Only these three gunas are the doer. I am not the doer. So a muni, a seer, he sees none other than three gunas as the doer. That is, who realizes that it is the gunas interacting with gunas and governing all activities. I am nobody. I am not the karta. Gunas are playing with gunas and something is happening. And he explains this. He knows that one who knows this, that I am not the doer, I am not the karta, but these gunas are playing with gunas, they are interacting with gunas, and that is governing all the activities. He transcends, he surpasses, which is higher than the gunas. Gunakit is become higher than any guna. It is higher than Sattva Guna, of course. And Rajasi and Tamasi also. If he is Gunakit, he attains my supreme being. Madbhavam Sodhigacchati. He attains my bhava, that means he attains my supreme gati. See, in earlier shloka, Paramatma had said, earlier discussion, to the lower realms of tamasic tendencies. They go to the lower species and all that, insects and animal kingdom and all that. Now here Paramatma is putting up high. But in the Supreme Self, Nanya Gunebhya Kartani Yada Drashtan Pashyati, Gunebhyascha Parametti Madbhavam Sodhigacchati. He attains me. So right from insect, now Paramatma is talking about attaining him. And for that, One has to become gunatit. He has to surpass, translates all three gunas of sattva, rajo, tamo. So Jnana says that this body, this mind, this intellect is made up of three gunas. Body, mind, intellect is made up three gunas, but the real I is neither this body, nor this mind, nor the intellect. That means it follows that I am neither Rajoguna, I am neither Tamoguna, nor I am Sattvic Guna, because I am not body, mind, intellect. And if these three gunas relate to these three things, then I am neither Rajoguna, I am neither Tamoguna, I am neither Sattva-guna. I am only a witness of Tamoguna born body, the Rajoguna born senses, and the Sattva-guna born mind and intellect. See, even when Sattva-guna create bondage, we have learned this, that Sattva-guna also create bondage because of knowledge and pride. It will limit you to the loka of Swargaloka. And that too is a type of bondage. Because you have to come down again. After your Punya Sanchaya is over, you have to come down. It is only the glory of Guna that lifts you from the confines of these three gunas and establishes you as the detached Muni, seer, as the detached witness. But for that, we have to rise above these three gunas. If we get stuck with Sattva Guna, the best reward return we may get is the heaven. But after our Punya Sanchaya is over, we have to again come down here. Not to talk about Rajasi and Tamoguni. We have seen what happens when we are Rajoguni and Tamoguni. So the Lord says that, am I the doer? Neither I am the doer, nor am I the experiencer. It is the play of these three gunas, Sattva, Rajo, Tamo, interacting with each other. I am traveling in the bus. I am in a good mood, Sattvic good. I want to be good with everybody in the bus. I start talking, communicating with the passenger sitting next to me. Hello, sir, good morning, and all that. He doesn't respond. My Sattva Guna goes down and my Tamo Guna rises. Anger comes. And then I said, what this fellow is? He's not even responding to my hello and good morning. What is he? But after some time, I came to know that that fellow is deaf. He cannot hear anything. So then you get a pity on him. Then again, you shift to Sattva Guna. Sometimes you keep playing Rajasi Guna, Tamo Guna, Sattva Guna. All our actions are governed by these three gunas. Then he says that the eyes, they see, the ears, they hear, the tongue, it tastes or it speaks, the body gets tired, the body sleeps. Whereas the ignorant people like us, they think of I every time. The Jnani says, eyes are seeing, ears are hearing, tongue is tasting, and the body, when the body gets tired, the body is sleeping. But we bring I in everything. I see, I eat, I hear, I am happy, I am sad, I am wise. We bring I in everything. The Jnani does not bring I. The Jnani knows that it is the body, the senses, mind, and intellect, they interact with the sensory world. Whereas he is just the observer, witness. He is the witness of all that is going on. He knows very well that the gunas have no effect on him, cannot even affect him. And such a man of realization, Krishna says in this shloka, he attains my state of being, mad bhava, mad bhavam sodhi gacchati. So he attains the state of Krishna. Krishna is neither the doer nor the experiencer, but he is the detached witness. We have seen how detached Krishna is. Okay, let us proceed to next shloka, 20. Gunanetanati ityatrin dehi deha samadbhavan janma mrityu jara dukkhair vibhukto mritamashnute. Paramatma says, Gunan. Gunan is the attributes, the qualities. Etan, all this. Atitya. Atitya is to cross over, to go over, transcendent. Trin. Trin is three. Dehi. Dehi is the embodied people like us. Deha. Deha is the body. Sadbhavan. Samudbhavan is get produced of, get created of. Janma is of course birth, Mrityu is of course death, Jara is old age, Dukkha is distress, Vimukta is getting free of, Amrutam is the nectar, Ashnute is to enjoy, to taste. So Paramatma says, crossing over, surpassing these three gunas, transcendenting these three gunas, which are the cause of this material body, and thus being freed from birth, death, decay, pain, the embodied human beings, they attain supreme bliss. But you have to cross over these three gunas. Be it tamasi or rajasi or sattva, all these three gunas bind you in their own ways. We have seen how do they bind. Not only are the rajasic and tamasic bound by their respective tendencies, even the sattvic person is prone to bondage because he becomes egoistic of his noble predisposition. Vasanas and desires are the cause of formation of this gross body. Thus, the one who transcends vasanas and desires, who realizes that birth, decay, death, pain happens only to the body, not to the Jivatma. In effect, he transcends the gross body. He is not body. And he sees his true self to be ever free, ever blissful, and ever immortal. Saying that Aham Brahmasmi, I am liberated, is a false statement if it is being made while we are still identifying ourselves with the body. Merely saying Aham Brahmasmi is of no use. If we are identifying ourselves with the body and we are saying Aham Brahmasmi, it is meaningless. So one needs to transcend all the attachments and identification with this body in order to experience this state of Aham Brahmasmi and being ever free and ever blissful. Then only we are qualified to say Aham Brahmasmi, not otherwise. Okay, next loka. Arjuno vacho kailingais tringuna atito bhavati prabho kimachara kathai chaitans tringuna vartate. Kai means by which. Lingai means the symptoms. Trin is three. Guna is the quality. Sattva, Rajatamo, Etan, all these. Atita is to surpass, to cross over, to translate. Bhavati is Prabho is the Lord. Kim is what? Achar means acharan, behavior. Katham, how? Etan, this. Ati vartate, to cross over, to translate. So Paramatma says, rather Arjuna says this, Arjuna is putting a question now, he is inquiring. Kailinga string gunaneta atito bhavati prabho himachara katai chaitan string gunanati vartate. Arjuna has understood that to get moksha, to get bondage free, we have to become gunatit. Not getting bondage of sattva guna also, no rajasi, no tamas, gunatit. As explained by Lord in earlier shlokas. So Arjuna is inquiring now, what are the characteristics, features of the one who has transcendented these three gunas, who has become gunatit? What are his characteristics of a gunatit person? What is his conduct? And further, how does he manage to transcend these three gunas? How does he become gunatit? What is his characteristics of the person who has become gunatit? What is his conduct? And how does he manage to become gunatit? Three questions. So Arjuna asked these three particular questions. The first being, what are the distinguishing features of the one who has transcended all gunas and become gunatit? The second question, what is the behavior like of this person? And thirdly, what is the way to become gunatit? What is the way to transcend these three gunas? So three questions Arjuna has put up to Lord Krishna. Now let us see what Lord Krishna is answering. Next shloka, shloka number 22. Prakashancha pravrittincho mohamevacha pandavo na dveshti sampravruttani na nivruttani kankshati. Paramatma says Prakasham. Prakasham is illumination. Pravritti. Pravritti is attachment in action. Moham. Moham is moha, illusion. Pandava. Pandava is son of Pandu, that means Arjuna. Nadvekti. Does not hate. Sampravrittani. Although developed. Non-nivrittani. Not stopping the development. I mean, Kankshati. Kankshati is to desire. So Paramatma says, the light from Sattva Guna, the activity from Rajoguna, and the delusion from Tamo Guna, the one who neither resents their presence nor longs for them when they are absent. So a Sattva Guna person, when he is full of jnana, light of jnana, he does not resent the presence of light, nor does he long when they are absent. Only such a person can become Gunatit. The light implies to the ability to experience the sensation. I am feeling good, I am feeling bad, I am feeling sad. That sensation, that is the light. The consciousness arising in our chitta as a consequence of Sattva Guna is the light. Whether a jnani's chitta is illuminated by the light of awareness, consciousness, or whether his chitta is under the influence of Rajaguna or Tamoguna induced attachment or delusion, it has no effect whatsoever on the jnani. A jnani neither hates the presence of Rajasi, Tamoguna or Tamoguna or Sattva-guna in his mind, in his antakaran, nor does he long for their absence in the mind. So no one was engaged in the worldly activities like Krishna. Krishna did also the worldly material activity. But it is equally true that it is hard to cite an example of someone more detached than Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is the best example of Gunatit. He did everything. He did everything that normal human beings do, but remaining detached. No attachment of Sattva Rajotamo. The Sanskrit word used to describe this is pravritti and nivritti. Pravritti means engaging with the outside world, doing the karma for outside world. Tendencies going out to the external world. That is pravritti. And nivritti implies to withdrawing, to disengage from the external world. But we gopis or Radha or Arjuna, we discussed it last time also, or Draupadi, or many others also for Lord Krishna. Krishna was so dearly engaged with all these people that everyone believed that he loved them the most. This is Krishna's pravritti. Because his behavior in the outside world was like that. That everyone believed that I am the most dearest person to Lord Krishna. But when Krishna disengages, nivritti, he withdraws, then such is his nivritti that he never, not even once, looks back at Gokul or that Vrindavan or those gopis or Yashoda or Radha again. Never. This is the sign of a man. This is the sign of a man who has transcendented three gunas, who has become gunatit. Engagement with the world does not bind him, and furthermore, he withdraws from the worldly engagement as easily as the snake will discard its skin. The snake will discard his skin very easily without any efforts. So he disengages himself from the world activities very easily. So pravritti and nivritti, both things he can do it very easily. When he is doing pravritti, no attachment and no longing for nivritti. And when he is doing nivritti, no attachment for nivritti and no longing for pravritti as well. So such a person only can become gunatit. Now here one thing we should note is that Lord Krishna has not even once said that such a person will always abide as a sannyasi. He did not be a sannyasi to become gunatit. He will never engage with the external worldly affairs. Has Krishna said this? No. He can abide as he wishes, for he always stays steady, balanced, and equanimous, irrespective of pravritti and nivritti, engagement or disengagement. If he can remain equipoised in pravritti and nivritti, then he has become Gunatit. So, Geeta or Lord Krishna never said that you stop doing worldly activities. You can continue to get involved in pravritti, get involved in nivritti, but when you do pravritti, never think of nivritti. When you do nivritti, never think of pravritti. Engagement and disengagement should be done skillfully. That is the key of becoming Gunatit. Okay, let us proceed further. Slok number 23. उदासीनवदासीनो गुणैर्यन्न विचाल्यते गुणावर्तन्त इत्येव योवत्तिष्ठति नेङ्गते. Udasinavad. Udasinavad means as if neutral. Asina is to get situated. Gunai is by the qualities. Yah is pronoun in Sanskrit, one who. Vichalyate is to get agitated. Guna is the qualities, the gunas. Vartante means acting. Iti evam, knowing this. Avatishtanti remains. Yah means one who. Na is never. Ingate means to wave, to flicker. So udasinam gunairinam vichalyate guna vartante ityeva yovattishtati nengate. Paramatma says, the one who abides as a detached witness. Whether he is in parvati or nivritti, he is a detached witness who cannot be agitated by the interplay of gunas. Sattva will do sattvic karma, Rajasa will do Rajasic karma, Tamas will do Tamasic karma. He is not agitated by the interplay of these three gunas, and who, while knowing the way the gunas function, he is always without flickering established in his pure self. Usko atma gyan ho gaya hai. He has realized his pure self. He is well established in his pure self. This state of unchanging, constant. The one who awakens, he never reverts to the sleep of ignorance again. Once that unwavering conviction is made and he has become Gunatit, then one never deviates from it again. So, udasinam gunairyanna vichalyate gunavartante ityeva yovattishtati nengate. Next sloka, 24. Samadukha sukha swastha samaloštashma kanchanaha tulyapriya priyo dhiras tulyanendatma samstutihi. So this is again samatha. Samatma yoga uchyate. Samatha is the foundation of Bhagavad-Gītā. So Paramatma says sama is equal, dukkha distress, sukham happiness, swasya being situated in the himself. Sama is equally loshta. Loshta means the lump of clay. Ashma is the stone. Kanchan is the gold. Tulya means to remain equally disposed. Priya means the dear. Apriya means not dear, not desirable. Dhira is steady. Tulya equal. Ninda is ninda, defamation. Atma samstiti, the praise of himself. So Paramatma says, Samadukha sukha swastha samaloštashma kanchanaha tulya priya priyo dhiras tulya nindatma samstitihi. The one who constantly abides in his pure self regards pleasure and pain alike. To such an awakened jnani, a lump of mud, iron, and gold are all alike. The dear and not so dear one are the same. Priya, apriya, same, no difference. The respect and disrespect are the same. He is equipoised in all these contradicting situations. See, the enlightened being has no fear of condemnation or defamation from anybody. While the ignorant people like us, on the other hand, we are constantly afraid of infamy or disgrace, constantly concerned with what other people will say. If I say this, what they will say. Not wanting to be condemned by anyone. We don't want anyone to condemn us, isn't it? We always seek praise and appreciation from everyone, wanting only pleasure and never pain. These are the signs of a Rajoguni Chitta. The one who has transcendented these three gunas, who constantly abides as a detached witness, no more do these things make any difference to such an awakened jnani person. There is no difference between pleasure and pain for him. There is no difference between honor and dishonor for him. There is no difference for favorable and unfavorable for him. There is no difference priya and apriya for him. So he transcends all this. Only such person can become gunatit. So Paramatma is telling the secrets of how to become gunatit. Okay, continuing further. मानापमानयोस्तुल्यस्तुल्यो मित्रारिपक्षयोः सर्वारंभ परित्यागी गुणातीतस्य उच्यते. Further, the traits of gunatit person: man, honor; apaman, dishonor; tulya, equal again; mitra, of friends; hari means enemies; pakshayoho, of the parties; sarva, of all; arambha is the starting of activity, our efforts, endeavors; parityagi, to give up, renounce; gunatit, one who has transcendented all the three gunas, sattva, raja, tamo, going beyond these three gunas is gunatit. Saha, he; uchyate, is said to be. So Paramatma says, equanimous in honor and dishonor, equal to friend and enemy, relinquishing the sense of doership in all undertakings. Such a being is said to have transcendented all the gunas. That means he has become gunatit. 2-3 things: equanimous in honor and dishonor, equal to friend and enemy, relinquishing the sense of doership. If these 3 things we can manage, then we have become gunatit. Many times this slok is misinterpreted by somebody, and then they think that the person who has transcendented gunas does not perform any activity. He is sitting idle, he doesn't do anything. But this is not correct. Shri Krishna says, abandoning the sense of doership of all activities, not the activities. You cannot abandon the activities. You have to abandon the sense of doership. He does not say abandon all your activities. This will be against the principle of Bhagavad-Gītā, which is a karma yoga. So how can Paramatma say give up all activities? Impossible. Actions will keep on occurring consciously. Person who has become Jnani, he relinquishes not actions, but the sense of being the doer of actions. Kartrutva Bhiman. He abandons the sense of doership and abides as the detached witness of actions happening through his body, mind, intellect. Such an awakened being, he treats friends and enemies equally. He stays equanimous in honor and dishonor. Okay, further. Manjayo vicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samadhi ityetan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Further, this gunatit person, mam is to me, a person who avibhicharana, without paying attention elsewhere, avibhicharana. Bhakti yogena, by devotional service; sevate, to render service; gunan, these 3 gunas of prakriti, sattva, raja, tamo; samatitya, to cross over, transcend, surpass; brahma bhuya, get elevated to Parabrahma; kalpate, becomes. So Paramatma says, Manchayo vicharana bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samadhityaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. And those who abide in my remembrance, they keep taking my name all the time with steady, focused yoga of devotion. They transcend the gunas, they become gunatit and acquire the eligibility of uniting with the Supreme Parabrahma, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate. They become qualified to attain the Parabrahma. Those who abide in my remembrance with steady, focused yoga, they transcend the 3 gunas of Prakriti. They become gunatit. Now, having abandoned the ego, the devotees who worships me with complete devotion and complete surrender, he attains the same state that a Jnani does So whatever Jnani was doing, this Bhakta, this devotee is doing the same. Although the paths are different. But both Bhakta and Jnani, they attain the same state of being, Paramgati, Parabrahm. See, the devotee's path involves Bhakta, his path involves surrender, samarpan, devotion, bhakti, remembrance, namajap, kirtan, and seva. While a Jnani, his path involves dispassion, vairagya, contemplation, mananchintan, discriminative wisdom, viveka buddhi, endurance to remain in whatever condition he is, and meditation, sadhana. So the paths are different, but both arrive at the same destination, attain the same state of being. See, one who has understood the nature of Nirguna Krishna, he alone can be devoted to Saguna Krishna. Krishna is both Saguna and Nirguna. But one who has understood the nature of Nirguna Krishna, he alone can be devoted to the Saguna Krishna. And he who has attached himself with the Saguna Krishna can effortlessly understand the Nirguna Krishna. So Saguna or Nirguna, your attachment is what it counts, and your understanding the Paramatma, irrespective whether Saguna or Nirguna, that does matter. Okay, the last look of this adhyaya now. Brahmano hi pratishthaham amrutasya vyesya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. Brahmana, of the impersonal Parabrahma, pratishtha, the rest, aham is I am, amrutasya, of the immortal, avyasya, the imperishable, shashvatasya, the eternal, dharmasya, of the constitutional position of the dharma of the religion, sukhasya, of happiness, ekantikasya cha, ultimate. So Paramatma says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amrutasya vyesya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukhasya ekantikasya cha. I am the abode of Parabrahma, the immortal, the immutable, avinashi, the eternal and ever blissful. I refers to Parabrahma, and Parabrahma is indeed the sanctuary of all that is. The sanctuary of Prakriti is Parabrahma. Whether it is a Bhakta or a Jnani, at the level of body, everyone is made from Prakriti, irrespective of whether it is Jnani or is Bhakta. He is made by Prakriti only. And who is the supporting foundation of Prakriti? The Avinashi, indestructible, indivisible, immortal, eternal, ever blissful Parabrahma is the foundation of Prakriti. And the one who meditates upon this Avinashi Parabrahma, the essence of Parabrahma, he most certainly attains the Parabrahma. One who meditates on Parabrahma, he attains Parabrahma. You attain that you contemplate upon. Thus, such a being becomes immortal, eternal. So don't just go on the gross body, for it is destructible. After all, don't we still remember Sant Jnaneshwar, Maharishi Vedavyas, Vasishtha, these Jnanis? See, whether we remember these sages, these Santa, whenever we read their scriptures, when we read Jnaneshwari, or whenever we contemplate upon their profound words of wisdom, when we do Manan Chintan of Jnaneshwari, or when we do Manan Chintan of Bhagavad-Gītā, we remember Maharishi Vedavyas. When we do Manan Chintan contemplation of Jnaneshwari, we remember Sant Jnaneshwar. And it feels as though they are very much alive even now. If you do contemplation of Bhagavad-Gītā, you will feel as if Lord Krishna is sitting in front of you. The in-form Krishna may not exist anymore today. We cannot see body form of Krishna anymore today. But at the level of Atma, he continues to exist. And Krishna is always present to a devotee. Krishna exists eternally to a Bhakta and to a Jnani. Jnana is immortal. And those who abide in this jnana of Parabrahma, they also become immortal. Like Maharishi Vedavyas or Sant Jnaneshwar have become immortal because of their jnana. So those who abide in this jnana, they also become immortal. So this is the end of this adhyay, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga. I hope you have enjoyed listening to these characteristics of Satparajatamo, how they bind us and how we can become Gunatit to attain moksha, to attain Paramgati. Jai Shri Krishna.
Thank you, Bhaiya, for this very, very wonderful vivechan. I'm sure with all these vivid and live examples of yours, it is going to become so much easier for all the sadhaks and for all of us to bring these gunas to in our life and to recognize them, to work on them and to progress from tamas to rajas and rajas to sattva guna. We have some questions, Bhaiya, so we are ready to take. Ajit Bhaiya, can you please start your video so that we can spotlight you? And then you can unmute yourself and ask your question. Ji, ask your question, Bhaiya.
Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya ji.
Jai Shri Krishna.
As it has been said that at the time of death, when the individual has almost lost all his senses, so under such circumstances, how he can attain a particular guna in future life?
See, this is what was explained also, that the state of mind which he just had before he became unconscious, that state of mind decides what kind of next life he is going to have. When he was conscious, when he was not in coma, that time whatever was his state of mind, that state of mind decides what kind of life he is going to have in his next birth.
Future. Yes.
Okay.
One more question, Bhaiya.
Yeah.
In order to carry out a japa, they said that the mantra should be from a guru only. Without guru, can we chant just Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, or whatever it is?
Yeah. Nothing stops us from chanting the mantra of Parabrahma, Paramatma. But if it is given by Guru, then it has got additional power, additional strength. Because our Guru's message is imbibed in that mantra. So when we chant that mantra, we are worshipping Paramatma as well as our Guru. And that has a double effect, double engine. So it is a double engine. When a mantra is given by Guru and you are chanting that Guru mantra, then it has the power of your Guru as well as you are worshipping Parabrahma. So both ways it is good.
Oh, it is like obtaining a diksha. Am I right, sir?
Yeah. While you take diksha, the Guru give you a mantra for you to chant throughout your life. So when you take diksha, Guru invariably gives you a mantra. Whatever mantra he may give. So we are already.
But sometimes we may not get Guru immediately. So till then, for a temporary basis, can we continue the japa?
Yeah, we can continue. Of course, yes. We can continue the japa. And afterwards, when you take the Guru mantra from a Guru, you can disclose to him that till now, till I met you, till I took diksha from you, I have been chanting this mantra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jai Shri Krishna, Bhaiya ji.
Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri.
If there's any more question, please raise your hand and take this opportunity to talk to Vikas Bhaiya and ask your questions that you have regarding this chapter or any other chapter, because Bhaiya ji is so learned and he has so much of experience that he can help. And again, I'm going to remind all you sadhaks that the registration for July batch has already started. So please encourage all your near and dear ones and friends and do Geeta Prachar as much as you can, because Bhaiya will explain how Shri Krishna has himself promised that those who are going to propagate Geeta ji are closest to him. Yes, Bhaiya, is it not true?
Yeah. It is said in the 18th adhyay, which you learn when you go to L4, Paramatma, Lord has guaranteed this.
Yes.
The Lord is guaranteed this, that those who propagate this jnana of samvad between you and me, Arjuna, they are the dearest to me.
Yes.
They are the dearest to me. So this is a guarantee from Paramatma.
Ji Bhaiya, I think your vivechan is always so clear.
Bhakti mahim parankrutva mame vashyata samshaya. Before that, Paramatma says, Idante na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana, nacha shushrushavai vachan, nacha mayubi suite. Don't tell this Bhagavad Gita Jnana to somebody who is not believing Paramatma, who is not believing Krishna. Don't discuss with him. Waste of time. He will spoil your mind also. But ye imam paramam guhyam mad bhaktesh pavidasyati, bhakti mayim parankrutpa mame vashtit sanshya. And further says, Paramatma says, nacha tasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakruttamaha, bhavita nacha me tasmat danya priyataro bhuvi. No one is more dear to me than the one who is spreading this word of Bhagavad Gita. He is the dearest to me. Priyakruttama. This is the most dearest karma work for me, that he is spreading the dialogue between you and me. Further, Paramatma says, Addeshati imam dharmam samadamayoho jnana yajnena tenaha mishtas samiti me matihi. Addeshati, one who studies, who does contemplation, manan chintan of this Bhagavad Gita, he is doing a jnana yajna.
Ji bhaiya, I think we have one more question, bhaiya. Pradna Didi, ask your question.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna.
In 9th chapter, 8th shloka, Prakritim swama vashtabhya visrujami punah punah. Bhutak grama mimam krutsna avasham prakriter vashat. What is krutsna means?
Krishna means total, entire, complete. Krishna means not Krishna. Krishna means entire, total, complete.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Ji bhaiya, I think we are done with all the questions. So I will take this opportunity to thank all the Sevis who work behind the scene to make this session possible. Santosh bhaiya was our tech support today. He's so helpful and constantly on top of all the duties that is given to him. Thank you bhaiya for this wonderful seva. All the anchoring team and all the people who are working relentlessly and selflessly behind scene to make these Vivechan sessions possible. I thank all our sadhaks who give us this opportunity to serve them. So thank you, our respected sadhak, Krishna Rupi sadhaks, for being part of this family and coming to this Vivechan. Bhaiya, if you give agya, then I'm going to bring this session to a close, and I'm going to invite our Rita Norbudu Didi, who has come all the way from the land of dawn-lit mountains, Arunachal Pradesh, for the closing prayer. Didi is a teacher, and she joined Geeta Pariwar in November of 2023 and is currently giving seva as a tech support. Didi, please bring the session to the close, offering this entire session to the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna and offering our pravritti to the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna so that we progress closer to him. Ji Didi.
Jai Shri Krishna Didi Bhaiya. Thanks for giving me opportunity.
Jai Shri Krishna.
Jai Shri Krishna Bhaiya. Yogesam Satchidanandam Vasudevam Rajapriyam Dharma Sanstapakam Veeram Krishno Vande Jagat Gurum Sri Krishno Vande Jagat Gurum. Jai Shri Krishna. Om Shri Krishna.
Very nice to see that the Bhagavad Gita is spreading to Arunachal from Geeta Pariwar. Great.
Many sadhaks from Arunachal join us, bhaiya, and lovely even children who join us. They are doing Kanthastikaran and beautiful sadhaks we are getting from.
Very happy to see this. Very
good. Thank you. And today on this auspicious occasion of Ganga Dashera, let's make ourselves even more pure by becoming closer to the Bhakt Hanuman. Let's all sit together and do Hanuman Chalisa when we bring this session to the close. Santosh bhaiya, will you please play Hanuman Chalisa for all of us?
श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारि बरनउ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फलचारि बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरौ पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश विकार जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा गानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र ध्वजा विराजय कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन वसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहि दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर सहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाय सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही समभाई सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावै अस कहि श्रीपति कंठ लगावै सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कहि सके कहाते तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपद दीना तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना जुग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर पल जानु प्रभु मुद्रिका मेलि मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाही दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुमरे तेते राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे सब सुख लहै तुम्हारी सरना तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना आपन तेज समारो आपै तीनों लोक हाकते कापै भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवै महावीर जब नाम सुनावै नासै रोग हरै सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावै मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन फल पावै चारों जुग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे अष्ट सिद्धि नो निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा तुम्हारे भजन राम को पावै जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावै अंत काल रघुवर पुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई और देवता चित्तन धरई हनुमत से सर्व सुख करई संकट कटई मिटई सब पीरा जो सुमिरई हनुमत बल बीरा जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई जो सत बार पाठ कर गोई छूट ही बंदी महासुख होई जो यह पढ़ हनुमान चालीसा होय सिद्धि साखी गौरी सा तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा की जय नाथ हृदय महडेरा पवन तनय संकट हरन मंगल मूर्ति रूप राम लखन सीता सहित हृदय बसहु सुर भूप सियावर रामचंद्र की जय पवन सुत हनुमान की जय।
Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hanuman. Neema Pandya Didi, thank you so very much for being an excellent host and hosting this session. Let's meet next week again, same time, same place. Jai Shri